everyone, this is GameBros64. I'm bringing you guys another gear setup tutorial video build, whatever you really want to call it. But essentially this is for max wizards for fire. I'm going to still try to keep relatively the same stats, and I'm going to let you guys know real quick. I do not have, I'm not max wizards, like I'll show you like my setup now. But I'll change all this and I'm just going to explain it to you guys. Unfortunately, the game is not being very kind to me at the moment, trying to go for the pieces of gear that you actually need, but I will show you all the really good gear and I'll walk you through the mathematics of what your stats will change and what they will look like, and then I will also show you at 125, or I won't show you at 125, but I'm telling you this set works for 125. So to start off, we're going to jump into each of the pieces that you're changing. It's a little bit different just because, frankly, I don't want to level up to 125 on this tune, but this gear setup still definitely really works, and it's pretty good. You'll increase on a lot of things, however, you will lose armor piercing further than this. You'll have around 7 armor piercing total in the end, but to clarify, your max crit is actually at 125, 815. You need to have 815 critical to have max crit. Right now it says I have 100% because I'm at 120, and that's only 795, and that's really what you need for max crit, but 815, so you need to go up an additional 20 extra points if you want to gain max crit from 120 to 125. So you need an additional 20 points there. There is a new piece of there's a new piece of gear out, which is a hat for fire wizards. If you look at the crit drop, you're losing about 32 crit points, which isn't necessarily a whole lot when you start thinking about other options you can do for your gear, but you do get 15% damage increase. And so for the 125 gear setup that I am showing you guys now, you will want this hood, and for good reason. This hood provides you really great damage, gives you more power pip chance, and gives you a lot of health so that you can reach the 6k health mark, which I'm only sitting at 5600. If you get the proper jewels and better newer gear in the new world and stuff like that, you can gain more health. Plus, as you're questing, your base will increase. So when you get 125, I think you gain like 300-400 base extra additional health or something like that. I don't really know the exact number, but you do gain health as you level up. And your base will increase, so you'll actually get closer to the 6k health. And with this setup, you'll probably get anywhere from 6,000 to 6,500 health overall on your fire wizard, so it's really good there. So you're actually breaching the 6k and you're going past the 6k mark for your health. The first piece of gear is this. I also have a, let me see if I can drag it over, calculator, because I'm going to show you just kind of the numbers that you guys need. And then I have a new photo of the gear that you're going to get. Unfortunately, I just can't get it from the packs, but unfortunately you have to pay with your own money, get crowns, and buy this piece of gear if you don't already have it. So for the calculator and the calculations, you have 795 crit. That's max crit at 120, alright? If you want to go up to 815, you need 20 extra crit. Ignore the negative sign, I know how I'm doing my math. But you need 20 extra crit if you want to go up to 5 more levels and still hold your max crit. If you want to use this hat, which I really recommend you guys doing, especially with this gear setup, because you gain 15 additional damage, which is really good. You need to gain also another 32 more crit on there. So I'm going to just subtract it real quick. Oh, sorry. Yeah, minus 1. There we go. Alright, so if you're wondering about my calculations there, why I had to do that at the end, I'm at 796. So I only need to go up 19 instead of 15. Or, sorry, 19 instead of 20. So pull it over here and I'll just redo it. 19 plus the 32 on the gear that I'm losing if I'm automatically going to this Cabalist hood. So you plus 32. I need 51 crit somewhere on my gear if I want to keep 815 critical, and then I also want to use this hood as well. So that's the standard. That's what you must have if you want to hit 815 right there using the hat, and then if you already had 796 previous. If you had 795, you need 52 extra. If you want to use this hat, though, that's if you want to use this hat. So you don't have to use this hat if you don't want to. If you're struggling with crit, just use the Malastair gear. It's a good alternative setup. But I'm trying to show you a gear setup where you can actually use this hood and actually get some very good use out of it. So you need 51 crit there. Your robe will stay the same as Malastair. I looked at the Lightbringer armor. It looked appealing enough. It gave you more crit and all that great stuff. But the accuracy and the power pip chance really matters on this gear setup, because you're going to be using your triangle jewels for power pip chance for most of it. And you really need that high accuracy to come from your gear rather than from jewels, unless you can find something else. And you'll see that in this setup. I try to have a lot of accuracy on all my stuff, but essentially you're going to have you're going to keep the exact same Malastair gear you've been running from level 100. That has not changed whatsoever. Your boots will change. These are not the boots you want. The boots you actually want is the Bingo, is his name, is the Professor boots. Unfortunately, I cannot get these boots because, you know, I just don't have that kind of RNG with me. I already spent several crowns today or this morning, and I couldn't pull it. I kept pulling balance and myth shoes. So, you know, KI really doesn't want me to have these boots because apparently they don't love me enough. But anywho, these are the boots you definitely want, as they give you power pip chance and accuracy. They give you the 110 crit, and if you compare these to the Kabbalah shoes, you still get the same crit. However, you're going to lose 10 damage from Kabbalah shoes to these. The Kabbalah gives you 35 critical, or sorry, 35 damage. These give you 25. So you will lose damage there, but you're gaining 15 off the hat, so you can afford to lose some damage. You don't have to gain so much damage all the time. But so you're going to kind of give and take and sacrifice when needed, but essentially your boots will be these right here. And this is the 120 version. I don't think there's a 125 out yet. There may be a 130 when they release the world, but I haven't heard anything from that yet. So these are your boots. They work excellent. When you get them, you're already halfway there. So you have those boots there. The wand, you're going to keep this. This is from the Polarian wand. They don't have the bundle anymore, and I'm trying to find an alternative wand. But for this gear setup, if you have this wand, this is the wand you must have, because it gives you the accuracy that you want on your gear, because your jewels are going to power pip chance. Gives you relatively high critical 180. If you want to use the guitar wand from the Halloween pack, you certainly can, and then you can like use your jewels for like armor piercing instead of critical. It just all depends on what you want to do there. Just know you got to find a substitute for that 7 extra accuracy that you will lose from switching to the guitar wand from this wand. The dagger remains the same. You're not going to change this dagger whatsoever. Crit jewels are going to be in it. If you get the 17 crit jewels from the new world, obviously socket them in. That's just 1 extra point. It may not, like you might think, oh, it's just 1 extra point, it's not going to matter. But when that 130 hits, to level up 5 more times, you're going to lose another 20 crit guaranteed. If you lost 20 crit from going from 120 to 125, you're going to guaranteed lose another 20 crit from going 125 to 130. It's guaranteed. You're going to lose 20 crit. So those 2 extra points from 17 to 16s, they can actually help you out in the long run. Power pip chance from the triangle, you're actually going to upgrade this to 10 instead of 9. I haven't done it yet just because until I get my boots, or until I get these boots, I'm not going to really go for this setup, just because I want to get the gear before I level. It makes sense. I want to get the gear before I level, because when I get to max level, I don't want to be losing anything. I want to make sure I have everything done, so all I have to worry about is just leveling my guy. That's it. So you are going to get 10% power pip chance on this, but the dagger is not going to stay because you want the accuracy on your gear. The power pip chance is for your jewels, the accuracy is for your gear. As I showed in the video, you're going to get the new boots. They give you accuracy, plus they also give you power pip chance, so it's a big bonus for going for it. The wand gives you accuracy. The dagger is going to give you accuracy. You want accuracy on your gear. if you're going to be focusing power pip chance on your jewels. It's just important. The charm, you do not, or the amulet, you do not have to change this out for the Shane Von Shane amulet. The 30 crit actually works perfect, especially at 125, plus it gives you 40% blade, which is really nice. If you want the extra resist, the extra armor piercing, and more critical by 5 extra points, go for the Shane Von Shane amulet. However, you lose the 40 block, you're perfectly fine. You gain more armor piercing, resist, and critical. But you lose the blade, but you do gain, what is those bubbles called? Here, furnace. You gain a 25% furnace on the necklace instead of the blade. So you'll lose 40% blade, but you'll gain something that can apply to 4 different hits if you time it right. Back to the gear. The ring, you're going to still keep this exact same ring. I know it sucks because it gives you no power pip chance. And, you know, you can definitely try to find something else. But this gives you the most crit, and this is how you get max crit on fires. You have to use this. I believe this is the Mimic ring. And this is the best ring in game for just high crit, high damage. And it's a good ratio for both of them. It's just you get no power pip chance, which sucks. So you would have to make that out on your jewels. That's where you're going to make up this power pip chance loss, is on your jewels. Your pet, this is not completely finished. If you have max stats, definitely upgrade this to max stats. But that socket is only for 125 with the 125 or the 120 set that I have. That socket will be changed to critical. I prefer, if you don't have crit striker on your pool, if you want crit striker, I have Fire Striker, which if this was max stats, that's going to be 26 instead of 24. If this was max stats, the Fire Assailant would be 32, and then if you take this out and you throw in a Crit Striker, you would get another you'd get 31. So you have 31 additional critical here, which would be really nice. And I'll show you the calculations here in a moment after I get through all the pieces of gear. But essentially, you're going to have a triple crit, triple damage pet. I prefer if you have a pet with a blade. Unfortunately, I don't have a pet with a blade. But if you had a pet with a blade, definitely go for it. If you can get max stats, definitely go for it. But you do not need max stats just to get the max crit that you want here. Just try to keep something relatively close to the stats that I have right here. If your crits are a little bit lower, there are people in our Discord server that can help you raise your numbers on your fire crit, as well as try the kiosk. Maybe you can find someone with max stats in there that you can just hatch with. But essentially, this is what you're going to try to go for. Just that socket's going to be changed to more critical. So you have 3 crits and 3 damages. If you're running this pet up and you want to throw in Crit Striker, unfortunately, you're going to have to run the Mega Pet up to Ultra to throw in Crit Striker. That's just how KI put it, is if you want the big crit, which gives you 31, or when it's max stat. Right now, if I throw it in and it's not max stat, it's going to give me like 28 critical, which is still perfectly fine. So you don't necessarily need max stats. It's just if you want extra crit points for when you go to 130, and then the 9 damage can go to 10, so you get 1 more damage. It's just something you can improve on. But also, once again, get it with a pet with a blade, because it's better to have blades on your pet and your necklace rather than having no blade whatsoever. Your mount, I don't have any mounts that give you damage. They're all on my Storm Wizard. If you had the 2% damage mount, the Narwhal, there's the Battle Mage mount that gives you 2 damage, or if you got the lucky enough to get the Gulcher mount that gives you 3 damage, you can improve there by giving a +3 to yourself. The deck will stay the exact same. I've heard rumors and I've looked online. The Beastman Fight Club, if you feel like farming that and you want to get the deck on it, it gives you a few more crit points. I know for Storm it gives you 6 more points, so I'm sure for Fire it's going to give you like 5 or 6 more points. Probably 6, the same as Storm. But you can get more crit points on the Omen, or not the Omen, sorry, the Beastman Fight Club deck. So if you want to go that route, you can definitely earn a few more crit points in the long run when you're going up to 130. You do not need it. This is a viable deck here. This will work perfectly fine. So essentially, since I've shown you or I've walked you through all the pieces of gear, and I've told you the names of all the pieces of gear, and if you need like any help of finding what piece of gear I mentioned in the video, just comment down below and I will tell you where to get the gear. Sorry I don't have enough pictures, but mainly your biggest piece of gear is this right here. You definitely want this, and unfortunately It is in the Professor Horde pack in the Crown Shop. If this will open, it's this right here. So it's a pay-to-win kind of setup, which sucks. But essentially, you're going to be gaining 15 more damage, and you're going to gain 1 more power pip chance. You're going to lose an armor piercing from here, so you're going to lose 1 armor piercing here. The jewel on this, I forgot to mention, will be upgraded to 17 critical for fire. If you have the 17 crit jewel, one of these, or if you have just 16s, you're perfectly fine. But essentially, that's going to be like 17 or 16, whichever one you prefer there. And you're going to lose 6 armor piercing off this, and you're going to lose 1 armor piercing from going to this hat off the Mally hat. Since it gives 5, this gives 4. You'll lose 1. So you're going to lose an overall of 7 armor piercing. So actually, you're going to have 6 total armor piercing in total. So your armor piercing is pure garbage on this 125 setup, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way the game goes. You have to give up something, and armor piercing you can give up. I know if you're battling fire guys, you're going to have to rely on using converts. Don't try to over pierce them unless you go into like Shrike or something. You can over pierce them, but then that's just wasting a shadow pip. You might as well just keep it and throw a Raging Bolt. So you can do that. If they throw a shield, Dragon is your best friend. Essentially, the first hit, you won't pierce the shield, but you don't really care. The dot over time, especially with a crit and high damage, you will do a lot of damage with Dragon, regardless whether you have 0 armor piercing or not, as because it hits them like 4 or 5, hits them 3 rounds plus the initial hit, so 4 times. So you can definitely do a lot of damage in that time frame. And then also don't forget your wand gives you 2 infallible or not infallible, but 2 cards. If you have this wand, it gives you 2 infallibles for 20%, plus it gives you extra accuracy for 20% for 4 rounds. So you can definitely have more armor piercing off that. It just takes an extra turn to gain 20 additional armor piercing. But you're going to have 6 overall armor piercing, which isn't too bad because you're fire. You can throw dots and get around those shields fairly easy. But you're going to gain 15 additional damage. Robe's going to stay the same. The boots are going to be, the damage for the boots is actually going to decrease to 125 from the 120, or sorry, not the 125, the 28 to 25. So you're going to lose 3. So technically you're only gaining from the hat 12 damage instead of 13. If you're just kind of keeping up with the calculation, you get 15 off the hat, but you're losing 3 off the boots. 15 minus 3 gives you 12. So you gain 12 overall damage from what we have on right now. Power pip chance will increase by 9 and you gain 4 accuracy. You're going to not lose any power pip chance, which is brilliant. You're actually going to gain 3 power pip chance, and on top of it you're going to gain 4 additional accuracy, which is important when I show you what I'm going to do to the pet. And then also you gain 8 more critical off the boots, so that's really important as well. But you're going to lose a few damage, but you gain 12 damage there. Let's move this out of the way. The wand stays the exact same. The dagger stays the exact same. You're going to gain 1 more power pip chance on the triangle. So you gained 3 more on the boots and 1 more here. So that's 4. And then the hat, since you increased, gives you an extra 1 there. So you have a total of 5 overall power pip gainage. So you're going to be at 105 power pip chance for your overall setup. Really nice. Shadow pip will still remain the 6. And then we also cleared up that your armor piercing will be only 6%, which is terrible. Your incoming will remain 27 because you still have the dagger giving you 15, and then the ring gives you an extra 12. Those are not changing whatsoever. So you will still have pretty decent incoming. Crit will obviously be 8, 17 when the math is right, and I'll show you the math. But you will have max crit, obviously. That's why I'm making this video. So these can eventually go up to 17 if you want 17, but 16 is perfectly fine there. The amulet's not changing. You're not changing this. This will obviously, the accuracy socketed will go to critical. And then if you get 3 extra damage here, plus the 15 here, subtract 3, you have 12. And then if you get the 3 extra damage on the mount, you can have your 15 damage back. So I'll go ahead and include the 15 because there's a lot of people who do have the Gulcher. If they don't have the Gulcher, just subtract 3 damage essentially. but you're going to gain 12 between the hat and the shoes, and then you're going to gain an extra 3 off the Gulcher, and then that's it. So you gain 15 extra damage from this right here, so you'll be at 126. 126 damage, and then if you have a maxed at fire pet, you'll gain an additional point there, so you'll be at 127 damage. So you're going to have 127 damage here with 6 armor piercing, 27 in. Pip percentage will be going up since you're going to be going to 125. The base will actually increase. Power pip chance will be 105, 6 shad pip, and then you'll also have like 6,300 health. Your resist will drop. From the Professor boots, you'll gain 2 extra resist, so that's good there. But however, when you go to the Kabbalist hood, you're going to be losing 11 of that. So you're going to be losing 9 universal resist, so you'll be at 24. It's not too bad, you still got some resist, but if you're focusing on just high damage, high crit, you're going to be joining a fight throwing like 1 or 2 blades, throwing dragon, hitting for like 5k, and then walking out the door. Like, it's just that simple. You don't really have to focus so much resist if you're killing so quick. And then if you run with a healer or someone that has potential heals, they can hopefully keep you alive while you struggle for survival. But once again, you're fire, this is a crit setup. You go in, you take 3 rounds, they're dead, you walk out, no problem done. Problem solved. You know, everything's good. Accuracy will be at 32. You will lose 5 off this, so you actually go down to 27, but your boots will give you an additional 4 if you get the Professor boots. So you'll actually go up to 31 accuracy. So you only lose 1 accuracy, and you want at least 30%, because if you plan on using Raging Bull, you need 30% accuracy. Just to non-fizzle this ever, unless they throw like some stupid debuff on you, but then you have infoul down below, so you can definitely overpower that if need be. But this is the overall setup, guys. Sorry I'm not really showing you all too well. You got to kind of use your head on this one here, but essentially you're going to have 16 extra damage here through the Gulcher, through the helmet. You lose 3 on the boots, but you gain 1 more damage if you have maxed that on the pet, so you can have around 126, 127 depending on your pet. And then if you have the Gulcher, you can actually gain 3 more damage included on the 127, so you'll have like 124, 123, and then if you have the Gulcher, you'll go up 3 more. Your resist will be 24, so you lose in resist, but that's fine because you're gaining a lot in damage. Your accuracy will lose 1, but that's fine, you're still at max accuracy. You have well over 6,000 health, no problem. And then if you factor in higher jewels and stuff like that for health on your tier sockets, you'll gain more health, obviously. Max crit, you'll be sitting at like 817. If I add that all up right. You're sitting at 796 right now. Let's see, you lose 32 there. You're going to gain 8 here from the Professor boots. 10, and you're at 102 here, so you gain 8 here from 32. Gives you 24. That doesn't change. That will not change. I mean, that can go down to 22 if those 16s go up to 17s. So we'll leave it at 24 because I want to show you. I'm not going to upgrade those, but if you ever wanted to, you can definitely do so. This will give you an extra 17 if you get the 17 in there, or if you get the 16 in there, you're perfectly fine there. So if you get the extra 16, you need 8 more. If this is max stat, you get you can get like 32 on the assailant, 26 on the striker, and then also you're going to throw in another critical there. You're going to throw in your crit striker, so that's going to give you an extra 31 if it's max stat. If not, it's going to give you like 28, 29 when it's not max stat. So you're perfectly fine there. So you're well over the limit there. What was I thinking? Hold on. Perhaps you can do something else actually. Let's see. You got 796 here. This 796, you're going to lose 32. 764. That will stay the same. That's going to increase to 110. Let's pull this over here. So plus 8. That will stay the same. Those can have a potential to go up 1 extra point. So plus 1, plus 1. That will stay the same. That will go up 17. These will go up max stat, triple crit. So I'm going to just assume this is already maxed stat, but this will be triple crit. So you'll gain 2 from the assailant that's already on it. And then you'll gain an additional 2 from the fire striker that's already on it, because it's going to max out at 26. And then the crit striker, which is the universal critical, the highest one possible, which is an extra 31, will give you an extra 31. Holy crap, you're going to gain a lot of crit. 826. I may have overestimated here. And then, yeah, so you have 826 critical, which is fabulous, actually. So let me see. This much from 815, 5, 6, that would be 11. You have 11 extra critical. Let's see if we can switch something around real quick. 11 extra crit. No, you can't, unfortunate. But that's perfectly fine, because 11 extra crit is real good. Since from 120 to 125 you have to increase 20 extra crit to hit max crit. From 795 to 815 it's going to be the exact same thing. So 830 is probably going to be the next, or 835, sorry, it's going to be the next max critical for when you hit 130. So you're almost there, and you have leftover crit from just your pet, so that's really good there. If this wasn't maxed stat, though, you would lose quite a few points on your pet, and that's no problem. But 8, so I overestimated. I thought you'd get like 815 or something critical, but you'd actually get 826. So you have a little bit over just for in the long run when you have to go to 830. So that's really nice there. And then the 3 damage Gulcher-mount, and you're perfectly fine there. And then also, if you get the whatchamacallit, Fight Man Club, the Fight Club deck, you'll go up probably an extra 6. So you'll be at 832, so you'll be 3-shot. And so if I'm sure, hopefully KI will release some kind of 130 gear. If the Professor boots go up to 130 or something like that, you can gain a few more crit there. Or if they release any new 130 gear, I'm sure you can probably go up just 3 more crit points. That's all you really need. You need 835. That's my guess, because it's just going up 20 points each time you level up 5 times. So you're almost at max crit for 130. This is just my assumption right here. You need 835, but just with this set at 125, you almost have max crit at 130. Really nice there. So this is actually a better set than I anticipated. But I'll walk you through the stats. You're going to have 127 damage with the Gulcher-mount, with the max stat, and then you have all the high, like, jewels and all that stuff, and you'll have 137 damage plus the Professor boots. You'll have like 6,000, you'll have well over 6,000 health. I'm not sure exactly, because you'd have to add the health you get from leveling, the health from your jewels, and the health from the hat increase goes up about 270, and then the boots, from these boots to the Professor boots, give you like an additional 80 or something. So you'll definitely have well over 6,000 health, no problem. Resist will be 24. Resist is not too bad, but you don't really care so much about resist because you're just trying to go in there, spank them, get it over with, come out. It's no problem. You'll have 31 accuracy overall with your universal stat, or with everything when you have it all in total. So you'll go down 1 accuracy, but you're still at max, good enough to use Raging Bull at 30%, or 70% plus your 31% will be 101%. And then you also have the infouls off your wands that give you an extra 20% if you really need the extra percentage. And then it also gives you 20% armor piercing. So you can definitely use that as well there, and it helps out with your armor piercing, because your armor piercing is going to go down to 6%, and you'll have 26 if you use the infoul. So you'll still keep some relatively good armor piercing, it's just you're using another turn to use the infoul. Blockage will be 1%. Your crit will actually be 100% with 832 overall critical, which is real nice. No, sorry, not 832, it would be 826, but if you get the Fighter Club's deck, it will go up to 832. 27 incoming. Stun resist has a possible chance of going up to 5%, if not higher, if you use the right jewels, and that's if you get the right jewels as well. Pip percent or pip conversion will actually increase because your base will be at 125 instead of 120, so it will be higher. So you have like a 3% pip conversion, if I'm correct. Your power pip chance will be at 105, which is really good, because when you hit 130, if you have to lose power pip chance, you have 5 to spare, and you'll still keep max power pip chance. Really good there. And your pip conversion, your shadow pip will not increase at all. It will still stay at 3%. I can't even read numbers now. 6%. It will still stay at 6%. I'm sure when they post 130 gear, if they upgrade the Professor boots, that will probably go up to 3. Actually, it changes. I'm wrong. You gain 2 more because you're upgrading to this hood. So you actually be at 8% power pip or shadow pip chance. So you actually gained shadow pip chance by 2 more. Really nice there. But that's it, guys. That's pretty much the overall setup for this gear. I have all the pieces and I know how to change it. I can definitely socket in crit jewel there. I have the 17 crit there. I have all the jewels. I just got to be 125, and I have to pull the stupid boots from the Professor Horde pack, or this gear setup will not work. I'm really sorry about the armor piercing. If you're listening to this video and you want to go for it, you are going to lose a lot of armor piercing, but that's just life. You have to eventually give or take, and on fire, I don't see fire really needing armor piercing as much as storm. And the reason for that is just because you have Fire Dragon. It will take the shield and then the dot's there to do damage over time. And if you crit on that dot, your Fire Dragon can be doing 1, 2, 3,000 a tick for 3 rounds. Like, you can do some like absurd amount of damage with Fire Dragon just with a critical and a few blades and just landing it. And if they have like no further resistance, or if they have no further shields or something like that, you can do a lot of damage with the overtime from Fire Dragon. So that's really good there. Plus Meteor's just a quick one-in hit, good, get them done. You have Rain of Fire, which does 300. It's essentially a reverse Fire Dragon. It does the big hit, then it does the overtime, or it does the little hit, and then it does the overtime. So if you want to substitute Fire Dragon out for Rain of Fire, you can do that. So the shield burns the 300, and then you have a critical on top of the 800, plus the epic, plus whatever blades you had. You're doing an absurd amount of damage with Rain of Fire over time for 3 rounds. So you really don't care so much about the armor piercing unless they resist in the New World, which they may, and then that's when you have to use maybe Infoul if you want further damage output. That's the overall gear setup, guys. The deck is pretty much this right here. I don't usually go anything further than this. If I want to, if it's going to be like a big long fight or something like that, if I'm not like killing like within the first 1 or 2 rounds, I will go ahead and put this in my deck. And this is as big as my deck will get, honestly. If you have a balance wizard that's like helping you out or something like that, yeah, this is as big as the deck will get. If you have a balance wizard that's helping you out or something like that, they can handle your tri-blades, they'll give you balance blades, they'll give you blade storms, you're perfectly fine there. If you have other support people, they'll give you your feints. So all you really have to focus about is the blades that other people can't use unless you're running with another fire wizard, and that would be your single blades. And as you're using your single blades, you're not using any pips to use these blades whatsoever, so you're actually doing more damage over time, or in the long run, by blading yourself. You're not burning any pips, so you're building your pips so you can hit quicker. And you're using blades that other people can't use, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I already used 35s, my balance or my support wizard can't use 35s. Or because then it would be pointless unless I plan on hitting twice, which with this setup, I don't think you need to hit twice. TC is pretty simple. You're going to be carrying 2 Raging Bowls. You can enchant these through TC Gargantuan or Colossus and then just reuse them. Don't use them in the fight, but you'll get them again as like treasure cards, and they're enchanted, so you don't have to worry about enchanting them again. So you have 2 TC Raging Bowls, 2 Cleanse Charms because they're real good. You can have like 1 or 2 of these. I usually carry 2. And then if you don't plan on using this, or if you don't have the wand to use this, I would end it with this. So you have double bubble from the infoul, and then from just more damage output with Wildfire. Minions aren't usually taking these bubbles, so it's really good. Plus it's a 35%, which is equivalent to one of your blades. So it's really good with the TC version. If you don't want the TC version, you don't want to burn the pips, obviously just run 2 single fire blades, and then there you go. You can run a viable set like this, or you can get rid of these, and if you feel like you don't get your shadow pips a whole lot, just run 2 more fire dragons, or 2 meteors, so you can hit quicker. But whatever the set works for you, I personally just like pretty much this, and then once in a while I'll carry that. But if I need infoul, I have it on my wand, so I really don't need it. So this is my TC deck pretty much, and this is usually my standard deck setup. If I'm killing within a few rounds, like I said, I will just run this. So essentially just like, I won't even run that sometimes. I'll just blade first turn and then hit next turn. Because I have 7 or 6 cards here, 1 card here. I'm pulling these all first round. I blade, then I throw whatever hit. Fire Dragon second turn, every single time, because you have max power pip chance, plus max accuracy, so you will not be fizzling that Fire Dragon, plus you have max crit, so you're guaranteed critical, plus you'll have 127 damage with the overall pieces all in line. And so you're going to be doing a lot of damage. It all just matters if they block you or not, which most of the time they do not. That's just me. But sorry this is a long video, guys. I just wanted to show you guys that I don't have all the pieces yet. I'm still working on the pieces, but I did want to throw this video out there for those who are trying or looking for new setups or new builds or anything like that to theory craft. But this is pretty much it, guys. This is the overall setup. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Sorry I am unwell prepared, but I think by just giving you guys my opinion on the gear and trying to help you out by showing you pictures of the gear that you can go for, you should be able to do pretty fine obtaining the gear. You can always just Google the name. Wizard Central and Duelist 101 are your best friends. They will, or Wizard Wiki Central and Duelist 101, they're your best friends. They essentially will provide you where you need to go to get this gear. And that's pretty much what I look up as well when I'm looking for the gear that I want. And then also if you have friends. And that brings me to my next point, is Discord. If you don't have friends, if you're having trouble making friends, or if you just you want someone to quest with or do dungeons with or grind with, usually grinding, there's a few questing buddies in our Discord, but we'll help you out with questing if need be. But grinding is usually what we specialize in, and if you need grinding buddies, especially good ones, join my Discord. The link will be in the About section on my YouTube channel. Feel free to join, and I'll hook you up with some really good grinding people, and we can definitely get you what you need. It will take some time though, because KI is always like that. They'll never get what you want right away, so you'll have to put in the time. But I'm sure with the right team we can definitely make the runs easier for you, and we can do them a whole lot quicker because we're flying through them no problem. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below over this video. If you like the gear setup, let me know. I'm sorry I couldn't do, usually after I give you the gear setup, I like to go into Unicorn Way and just show you some of the damage output during the battle phase. I want to start doing that on my videos, but none of my wizards are really 125, and I want to run them up to 125, but first I want to get all my gear and then run them up to 125. That's just a personal habit of mine. I don't want to get up to 125, then have my gear trash, and I don't really have like max crit at 125, and I don't have the highest damage that I want at 125. So I have to like kind of scrap things together, and I just don't like that. I want to be well prepared, so when I hit 125, I'm good to go. I'm done with this wizard essentially. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in another video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.